listen, this is so important. My pup will die if you're not paying attention right now. Like, I cannot stress how important this is enough. My precautions go as followed. So I will put a link in the video, like in the chapters or whatever. If you watch no other part of the video, this is like the meat of it. This is the most important. And that is, oh my gosh, it's been a minute. Oh my gosh. I have some very valid reasons why it's been a minute that I'm really not going to get into in this particular video, because this video topic is way too important to, mix in with some other life events. That said, I should have a vlog coming up soon. Time is relative, but soon, and I'll go into more of those details. Today's video, because it's such an important topic, and because I haven't had a video in a while, I'm going to try to do this not necessarily in a one-take fashion per se, but I'm really going to try to minimize the editing. So bear with me if there's some mistakes and stuff. But this idea came to me from a Reddit post that I saw today. And it's a topic that I've talked about a lot on this channel, but honestly, I don't know if I've ever made a dedicated video. I've made a lot of videos. Maybe I have, but I think it's time for a new one. And that is, we're going to talk about stomach flip or stomach bloat. I forget, there's like a technical, of course there is. There's like a technical medical name for it. And when I'm editing, if I think about it, I'll put it up on the screen or something. Or if you know it, you can put it in the comments. But, thankfully, this was something that during her research that Nisha found early on before we even got Enzo. So thankfully, it's something I've always been aware of, but I could definitely see how, I think a lot of times people see dogs as kind of self-explanatory. And honestly, I think that's like one of those common misconceptions. Like, dogs are very complex animals, and knowing individualities of your breed and what makes them unique, it not only can make their life better, but honestly, it can be life-saving. So, I'm not a vet, but basically what happens is shepherds' stomachs can actually flip over. So, like, if you think of, like, your stomach, even as, like, a human, it comes down, like, your throat, and then it goes into your stomach, and then it goes into your upper intestines. Well, that part between the upper intestine and the throat, your stomach, in a shepherd, because it's, like, horizontal, it can actually, like, flip and twist, I guess. Again, I'm not a vet, so if you have a better explanation, feel free to comment below and let other people know. I'll even, like, highlight it. But basically, shepherds are super prone to this. And this isn't one of these, like, oh, 1 in a million. This is, like, a very, very real thing. Some people will actually try to prevent it by what's known as stapling the stomach, so it can't. I actually am not a fan of that, personally. I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. It's just not something that in my research, I think I'm not a fan of putting them through that if I don't think it's necessary. I would rather just take the precautions, and my precautions go as followed. So I will put a link in the video, like in the chapters or whatever. If you watch no other part of the video, this is like the meat of it. This is the most important. And that is, the first and foremost thing I do is they do not go outside, period, 1 hour before eating or 1 hour after eating. This is to give it plenty of time to digest in their stomach. And as you can imagine, because I like to feed them at least 3 times a day, that can be a bit cumbersome, especially when they were puppies and I was feeding them as much as 6 times a day. We can kind of get into puppy stuff a little bit different. That's why I like to go out before. Now, to be clear, when I say like go out before, what I mean is like go to the park or something. In fact, I actually almost always take them out before we eat because I know I don't want them to go out for at least another hour. So prior to meals, we will go out and have a potty break. It's also really good for Lotus because he has a lot of anxiety. It kind of gives him just like a little visual reminder that the weather is safe and that he is okay to eat. So 1 hour before, 1 hour after. The next thing I do is They're water bowls. I keep them at floor level. Now, I know everybody likes these nice elevated bowls, and I'm not saying they don't have a place, especially if your pup maybe has some joint issues or something like that. But even with bigger breeds like Shepherds, their anatomy is designed in such a way that they are supposed to eat and drink from the ground level. So I will purposely leave water, especially if they're outside and exercising, running around. So if you have a Shepherd or a dog that does maybe a little bit older and has some joint issues, and for that reason you do have elevated bowls, that's fine. Just keep in mind that the same rules kind of apply as food. No exercise an hour before or after. So like, for example, you will always notice there has been times where I've had elevated bowls for them in the house that primarily had to do with Roomba, so Roomba could go under it. But that was only when we were in the house. When we're outside, when we're at the park, when we're out back, anything like that, you'll always notice their bowls are on the ground. And it is because of that. When we go places, I always, even in the back of the truck, if I'm going to give them water, and back when we had the FJ, same deal, like I would like lay it on the ground so that they could drink it straight from there. What baby brother do? So no eating or drinking from an elevated bowl. So no eating period, 1 hour or 1 hour before or after exercise. No drinking from an elevated bowl during exercise or 1 hour before or after. And the third and most important, well, no, I wouldn't say the most important, but the third thing that I really like to stress is the signs and symptoms. Stomach flip is one of those things that if you don't get them to an emergency vet within, it's like 15, 20 minutes, like they will die. So understanding those signs is super important. So anytime after your pup has ate or drank a lot, if you start seeing them doing anything weird, I mean, you know your pups better than anybody. So what's weird for my pups may not be weird for your pups. But if you notice anything out of the ordinary, especially anything that gives you the indication that maybe their stomach is hurting, you just need to throw them in the car and rush to your nearest animal hospital, which is why I always suggest people know those and have those handy, maybe even like stick them in your car visor or whatever, or if you're the type that, relies on public transit, have it in your phone, whatever you got to do. But always have that because time is of the essence. If you get them there soon enough, they can be saved. It is actually something that with surgery, if they get it quick enough, they can be saved. And the success rate, from my understanding, is pretty good. It's going to cost you a lot, so I don't, obviously. But who cares? It's just money. If I ever have somebody, it wasn't as big of an issue in the past, but obviously now that I'm on my own, if there's a time where I have somebody keeping an eye on them for the day or something, a lot of times those days I don't even if I have to leave to go to work or something, I don't even tell that person to feed them because it's just not even worth the risk in my opinion. On those days, I just feed them a little extra at breakfast and I feed them a little extra at dinner to compensate. That way I don't have to do this. In the event that I actually have to leave for a day, you can bet that I am so it's like, hey, sit down, look me in the eye, no distractions. Listen, this is so important. My pup will die if you're not paying attention right now. I cannot stress how important this is enough. And then I'll even put Post-it notes on their bowls and stuff, make sure it's on the ground. No, and I'll put Post-it notes on the door, no going out an hour before or after eating. And when I will even you as the pet owner, I will tell you that, hey, if they need to go potty before, fine. But when I have, in the rare case I have somebody watching them who I know is going to feed them, it's just a flat 1 hour before, 1 hour after, they don't go outside, period. And better safe than sorry. So no food an hour before or after. Water should always be on the ground. Food too, really. And know the signs and know where your nearest animal hospitals are. If you're traveling, know where they're at, anything like that. And it's something that, again, this is so important. So if you have a Shepherd, I don't know what other breeds. That's another thing. If you guys want to comment below if there's other breeds that are super susceptible to this, I would imagine larger breeds are probably up there, but I don't know. But that being said, again, sorry I haven't had a video in a few weeks. Hopefully that changes. I have some very important reasons why I haven't for once, but I'm not going to get in that on this video. But I love you all. I know, buddy, we need to do some exercise today, but I love you all. And we will see you on the next one. Later.